Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're watching Big Picture and I'm Vishal Dahiya. Today we're going to talk about common admission test to all central universities. Now the central government has set up a 7-member committee to recommend modalities for high quality aptitude test for admission to undergraduate programs of central universities. This will come into effect from the 2021-22 academic session. Now, the computer-based common entrance exam to be conducted by the National Testing Agency will be mandatory for admission to all central universities. Today, we're going to talk about this particular test, the rationale behind having the common admission test, and what exactly will this test have, and how will it help in terms of bringing a parity to admission in all central universities. And for more on this, we're joined by a distinguished panel of guests. Let me first introduce them to you, beginning with Professor Rajneesh Jain is with us. He's the Secretary of University Grants Commission, that is UGC. We also have with us Professor M. Jagdish Kumar. He is the member of National Testing Agency as well as Vice Chancellor of Jawaharlal Nehru University. And we have with us Professor Harish Chandra Singh Rathore, Vice Chancellor of the Central University of South Bihar, and he is also a member of that committee which has been set up by the central government to finalize the modalities of this particular test. So let me begin with you, Professor Jain, and let's start by looking at the rationale behind this decision. Why is there a need to have a common admission test to all central universities?
That's a very important question. Every year, lakhs of students, after completing their school education, they appear in different admission tests which are conducted by different universities for admission at undergraduate level. Many universities adopt tests, and many universities, they adopt merit-based criteria for admissions. And every student has to face different options or different types of challenges by filling up different types of forms or appearing in different types of tests. So there are so many challenges which are faced by any student when a student thinks about appearing in admission tests or think about admission into universities. So as such, about 14 central universities which are established after 2009, they are already conducting a common entrance test. So it is thought that in order to have a standardized, in order to have a high quality admission test whereby we can rope in all the central universities, that will be beneficial to all the students. At the same time, National Education Policy 2020 also mandates that there should be a common admission test after 12th examination, so that the student can overcome the problem which is associated with a cutoff marks, whereby only high cutoff marks students, they are able to take up the admission, etc. So I think as we discussed, things will become more clear. We have Professor Jagdish Kumar and Professor Harish Rathore with us. And UGC has set up a 7-member committee, as you already mentioned. So more will come up.
Okay, definitely. Let me bring in Professor Jagdish Kumar here. And Professor Jagdish Kumar, you're here in a sort of a dual role. You're a member of the NTA as well, and you're a Vice Chancellor of of a central university also. So let me first come to the second aspect here. As a Vice Chancellor of a central university, the benefits of having a common admission test. And as Professor Jain was pointing out there, will this new common admission test bring an end to that mad race for marks, or the cutoff race?
Right. Let me add a few additional points to what Professor Jain has said, who is my former colleague at UGC when I was a member there. Now, we need to look at the magnitude of the challenge that we have in front of us. Number one, we have more than 50 state boards. We have 3 major central boards. And every year, close to about 1 crore students sit for their +2 examination in these boards. And assuming there is a 70% of these students pass in these exams, you have close to about 70 lakh students every year who pass out of their 12th standard, and they're looking around to get admission in their undergraduate programs. And the problem, the challenge of admitting students based on their +2 marks is there is a lot of variance in the way the examinations are conducted, in the way the students are evaluated across these boards. In some states, it's very easy to get as high as 95% to 96%. In some states, for the same educational standards, it is hard to get even 80%. Now, if the same set of students are applying to, let's say, to Delhi University for the undergraduate programs, and if the admission is based on purely their marks in the plus two standard, you can see clearly the disadvantage of the entire process. And that is the reason why I think it is important that we have one common entrance examination for the undergraduate programs across the country. It is true that experimentally, we want to experiment with the central universities to begin with, but over a period of time has come to adopt one single common test across the country, so that not just only the 55 central institutions, but the remaining 1,000 universities across the country can also adopt this exam, so that there are several benefits that can accrue to the students. Number one, they don't have to write multiple examinations. And the other advantage is this exam is going to be conducted twice to begin with. Maybe in the first year it will be once, but then in the subsequent years we'll be conducting twice in a year. So if you miss once doing well in the entrance examination, you can still prepare and do well in the second examination. So I see many benefits from the students' perspective, but I also see many benefits from the university's perspective, because you can then have, just as we do for the common counseling for JEE when we admit students in IITs and the NITs, perhaps over a period of time, based on our experience, we can even evolve a common admission process for the undergraduate programs across the country.
Okay, and as a member of the NTA, Professor Kumar, if you look at the magnitude of this task as well, how equipped do you believe the organization is? It has successfully conducted several exams in the recent past. So you believe the platform is definitely the one to go for?
See, we should not see this entrance examination in an isolated way. India historically has a lot of experience in doing anything on a large scale, be it conducting activities such as electoral process, or now we are thinking about supplying the vaccine to the every corner of our country, or if there is an event like an earthquake, the scale at which we take up the activities there to help the people. So India is known to conduct large scale operations. And having said that, when it comes to the entrance examinations, be it NITs, be it IITs, and also some of the central universities, they have years and years of experience in conducting large scale examinations. And remember, those examinations were conducted earlier using paper and pen. And that was really a complex process. I myself was organizing chairman of GATE 2012. We had to transport something like 1,200 to 1,400 boxes across the country, which contained the question papers. But now we are talking about introducing technology in conducting this entrance examination. And things have become much simpler now. We have better software capabilities to design these examinations. We have better communication systems. And then you have the colleges with computer facilities across the country. And the advantages that I see is these exam centers will be much more approachable for the students across the country, and we can conduct a highly reliable, transparent, bias-free examination. So from that context, I see that NTA is well placed to conduct these computer-based examinations.
Okay, definitely. Let me now bring in Professor Rathod here. Professor Rathod is also a member of that committee which has been set up to finalize the modalities. So, Professor Rathod, our viewers would like to know in terms of, what kind of modalities are you looking at? Because this is going to be an entirely different ball game. Preparing a common entrance test for central universities, there are several courses, different streams. Having a common entrance exam for MBBS or engineering courses is entirely different than having a common entrance exam for universities. So what kind of modalities is your committee going to look at?
I think you raised a very valid and very relevant question, which this committee will have to ponder upon in greater details. However, as is very clear, that there would be a plethora of courses across the universities, and you cannot have individual examinations for all of them. And in fact, if you think pedagogically, they are also not required. Basically, you have to think of in terms of streams. It could be a science stream, and there could be a test loaded with aptitude for science. And particularly if you are going into physical sciences, there could be numerical aptitude and other aptitudes. So we'll have to think over them. But then what would be the possibility would be to organize, say, 5 entrance examinations only for the undergraduate level, and there would be more aptitude loaded, interest loaded, and of course with some content loaded which is of common interest, say language understanding.
Okay.
So it could be a commerce stream, it could be teacher education scheme, it could be law, it could be science, it could be humanities, it could be social sciences. So once we'll have to really think over it, because you cannot have 250 or 500 courses, because there are 500 course combinations. What Professor Jain was referring to, there is already an experiment. 14 central universities have been conducting a common entrance examination for last 4 or 5 years, and my university is a participant in that exercise. And that experience which we have gained in organizing a common entrance test for the 14 universities will help. And I think once I am there in the committee, I'll contribute in that respect. Because there also we are not having, say for example, 150 courses if we are running 150 entrance examination. We have pooled them, we have found out commonalities and then acted upon them.
Okay.
So, of course, this is an exercise which the committee will do, but then there are ways. More important is aptitude, more important is interest, more important is a student's ability to study and grasp, and then ability to excel in the field.
Okay.
And this ability to excel in the field would be just through aptitudes, not through rote memory as is revealed by the mark sheets of the 12th board examination.
Okay.
And in fact,
Okay.
I see, okay.
Please carry on, Professor Rathod. Yes.
In fact, in addition to this, I see this exercise as an exercise of bringing a pedagogic improvement in the teaching learning process as a whole. Because this is also going to impact not only the student. Now the students at the 12th level, the school level teaching will have to switch over from rote memorization and marks oriented and rat race for marks to basic understanding and generation of the abilities that would be tested in this entrance examination.
Okay.
This is one aspect. Another aspect to it is that once the student gets a score, the student would have a freedom to choose the university and the course of his choice or her choice. Now, this would mean that the universities which are giving quality courses, which are delivering at the quality, would attract the best. And the universities which are not doing better would attract the lowest merit students. So that way there would be a healthy competition in the universities, and the universities will also have an opportunity to introspect and improve their academic standards.
Okay.
So indirectly, it is going to be beneficial even from the pedagogic and academic point of view, from bringing in academic standards and quality in teaching learning process.
Okay.
Besides helping the student to select.
Okay. So it is going to have a dual benefit, as Professor Rathod is pointing out. That brings me to Professor Jain again. Professor Jain, would you agree to this part, as Professor Rathod is pointing out, since he's one of the member of the committee which is going to look at the modalities, and is also the Vice Chancellor of one of the universities which is presently conducting this common admission test, which you were referring to earlier, that the focus has to be on aptitude and the interest rather than on the marks scored in the board exams?
Yes, I fully agree with what Professor Rathod said, because after 12th examination, till 12th, students study a number of courses. And after 12th, when they are taking up admission, in that case, I think it is more important to check their aptitude rather than getting into the details of a specific subject. So there can be admission tests which are loaded primarily on aptitude, and then there could be certain component on specific domains. Domains could be science, or domains could be arts or humanities or social sciences. I fully agree with what Professor Jagdish Kumar also said, that this is going to overcome a large number of challenges. See, a common entrance test examination will bring a kind of equity. It will do away with a cutoff kind of a regime, whereby only high percentage students used to get an opportunity to get admission into prestigious colleges. At the same time, there would be, when NTA is conducting examination, there would be a very large number of centers. So students across the country will get an access to appear in the examination through all those centers which are spread across. So people from rural area or tribal area, they will also be able to get access to the nearest possible center, and they will be able to have an option to appear in the examination. Okay. So it is in fact going to bring a large number of benefits to not only to the stakeholders, but also to the universities. They would be able to get standardized score whereby quality admission tests would be maintained.
Okay, definitely. Yeah. There are these benefits. Professor Kumar, I'd like to bring you in here again, and undoubtedly, as all of you are pointing out, there are multiple benefits of having a common entrance exam for central universities that brings an end to the, obviously, the mad race for marks in board exams as well, and the other pedagogic benefits which Professor Rathore was referring to. But another view on this is, Professor Kumar, and I'd like to, seek your clarification or your viewpoint on that, is that, why make the students undergo another set of tests immediately after they have secured a certain number of marks, or they have undergone a sort of an exam like a board exam, which is obviously conducted by a central board or a state level board. So it's sort of a repetition of tests, which is something the other view is talking about.
Right. See, the choice is before us. We know what are the weaknesses of the present system. As I initially mentioned, there is a lot of differences in the way the examinations are conducted, in the way the students are scored in various state boards and the central boards. That is one aspect. The other one is now, each university is conducting its own entrance examination, where the admission is based on entrance exam. And in other places, it is based on +2 marks. So there is a lot of variance. What this common entrance examination is doing, please don't consider it as one more additional exam. In fact, if they take this exam, they don't have to write several entrance examinations, which otherwise they would have been forced to write. So with this examination, we are trying to provide more equity in terms of access to the examination centers. And we are also trying to make it highly reliable, transparent, and bias-free examination. Please remember, getting admission in top-rated universities is a highly competitive process. Even a difference of 1 mark and half a mark can make a big difference. But if humans are correcting these answer scripts because of human fatigue and all kinds of human biases, there could be variance in the way we evaluate the students, and that can change somebody's life. And
the variations, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the variations at the board level, state boards and central boards, which you're referring to earlier as well, they're also very huge.
Right. That is also very huge. And that is why we want to introduce this machine-evaluated examination system, where there is bound to be almost no error at all in the way the students are evaluated. So this is one aspect. The other one is that the results can be processed very quickly. There is no delay. You don't have to transport all these examination scripts from place to place and so on. And then once you have this data, you can also analyze this data and generate what is known as the formative data to understand how difficult each question is, how many percentage of the total students have attempted some question or have not attempted some question. And based on this analysis, the question papers can be fine-tuned. And in the next year, the question papers can be improved. And also, if you can introduce new technologies like artificial intelligence, and these algorithms in the background can actively choose depending on how the student is answering the questions, and then pop up additional questions, change the difficulty level of the questions, change the assignment of marks for the difficulty level of the questions. So the entire examination can be highly dynamic by introducing new technologies. I think the national education policy also is speaking about breaking the barriers across the disciplines. No, we don't want to have these rigid barriers among commerce, arts, science, and social sciences, and so on. And this is also a great opportunity for us to reduce the number of papers in the common entrance examination. You know, if somebody is going to join in BA Economics, somebody is going to join in BA Political Science, it doesn't mean that we will conduct a common entrance examination in those subjects. Just as in the JEE, we test the students only in maths and physics and chemistry, irrespective of whether they are going to join in a BTech in computer science or chemical engineering or textile technology. So the basic components, the basic knowledge that is required for a student to be able to join either in science or social sciences or commerce, that has to be tested as part of this common entrance examination by appropriately using these questions.
Okay, definitely. Testing the basic knowledge, the aptitude, as well as the interest. That brings me to the final question to Professor Rathod before we wrap this up. Professor Rathod, from your experience as the Vice Chancellor of a university which has been conducting these common entrance exams for quite some time, and now that that experience will obviously be utilized to frame the guidelines for the larger set of exams as well. So what exactly is the feedback, not only as a Vice Chancellor from the university's point of view, but from the students' point of view as well, whom you have admitted in the past few years using this particular system?
In fact, since India is a very big country, and it spans from northeast Aizawl to Bhuj and Kanyakumari to Kashmir, the choices of students is very variable. And many a times what happens is that a student chooses a particular course and he finds that once the entrance examination is there, now he is not getting the university in his neighborhood, and he gets a university in Bihar or elsewhere. And I see that this is a very great opportunity for the central universities to acquire a national character. Because in the absence of the entrance examination, experience of BHU before 80s is very prominent. And even in my university, when I was not the member of this consortium, all local students were coming for admission. And the central university, which should have a nationalistic character, wherein students from all parts of all states should come, that was not happening. But this entrance, ever since my university joined the common entrance test, now I have students from Kerala, I have students from extreme north state places. So it has improved the national character of the university. Now, once this happens, तो जो हमारी संकल्पना एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत की है, एक जो नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन का बात है, तो all these things are going to be enforced. And this is going to add color to the central universities in terms of the student population, and it would improve homogeneity and understanding amongst the students. It's going to be beneficial from many angles, in fact.
Indeed, that will add the national character to the central universities, as Professor Rathod was pointing out. Thank you so much, Professor Rathod, Professor Kumar, as well as Professor Jain, for sharing your views on this very important aspect, which is set to change the way the admissions will happen to the central universities. A common admission test which is being worked upon, and the aim here is to go ahead and test the aptitude, the interest, and the basic knowledge of the students, rather than go in for that mad race for marks which students have secured in the board exams, which of course have several variants, being several state boards and central boards as well. So the whole idea seems to be really important and interesting from the point of view of how the higher education at central universities will be conducted and the students will be admitted to. We'll come back again on Monday with a different topic. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television.